The launch of the BRICS payment system has already had a profound impact globally, and the first to feel the blow is the U.S. agricultural industry. This development is shaking the foundations of America's long-standing dominance over the global economic system, with dollar hegemony facing an unprecedented challenge. Recently, rumors have circulated online suggesting that India has rejected the BRICS payment system. However, such major news has not been reported by reputable international media outlets such as Xinhua News Agency, Reuters, or the BBC, nor by leading Indian media like the Times of India. To clarify, I checked the original source, and the Hindu actually stated that India would seriously consider joining if the BRICS payment system did not mandate the use of the Chinese yuan. It was not an outright rejection. Clearly, some self-serving social media outlets and opinion makers have twisted the facts to undermine the influence of BRICS cooperation and even drive a wedge between BRICS nations. India simply lacks the influence to do such a thing. The hype around this is merely an attempt to reduce China's control over the financial system. Those who spread these falsehoods are either deliberately sowing discord or, frankly, clueless. The formal rollout of the BRICS payment system is set for October this year, but even in its current trial phase, it has significantly affected the global commodities market, particularly dealing a blow to U.S. agriculture. It is well known that American agricultural production is dominated by large-scale farming operations, with each farm typically covering a substantial area and focusing on a single crop each year. This allows for economies of scale and cost reduction but also brings significant risks. If a farmer makes the wrong choice of crop, the financial loss can be catastrophic. American farmers rely heavily on data from the Chicago Futures Exchange, data rooted entirely in dollar-based agricultural transactions, which gives the U.S. a so-called transparency advantage in the international agricultural market. However, as more countries begin using the BRICS payment system, the dollar is being edged out, and the U.S. can no longer obtain critical information such as the specific trade volume and price of wheat imported from Russia. This directly undermines the effectiveness of the U.S. price prediction system. In the past, America's agricultural advantage lay not only in scale but also in having global trade data at its fingertips through the dollar system. Whether it was China buying soybeans from Brazil or wheat from Russia, the U.S. knew every detail. This information advantage provided crucial guidance for American farmers in their crop planning. But now, with the BRICS payment system in place, the U.S. agricultural trading framework is beginning to falter. According to a report by the American Farm Bureau Federation, the U.S. is expected to face an agricultural trade deficit of $32 billion in 2024. This is a significant blow for a country that has long prided itself on being an agricultural powerhouse. Historically, the U.S. has always maintained a surplus in agricultural trade, with exports not only meeting domestic needs but also supplying global markets in large quantities. However, this changed after the U.S. initiated a trade war in 2019. Since then, the U.S. agricultural trade deficit has widened year by year, especially with the worsening trade relationship with China, making it increasingly difficult for American farmers to export their produce. The China-U.S. trade war is also a major reason behind the steep decline in U.S. agricultural sales. In 2023, China canceled numerous wheat orders from the U.S., leaving American exporters with virtually no option but to hold onto their inventory. This has thrown the U.S. agricultural market into severe disequilibrium, and the unsold inventory is becoming a heavy burden on American agriculture. Meanwhile, countries that have adopted the BRICS payment system, such as Russia and Iran, have seen a booming increase in agricultural exports. The reason is simple: they have aligned themselves with China. With growing demand from the Chinese market and food prices at their lowest in 5 years, the world has witnessed the folly of decoupling. By losing a market of 1.4 billion people, the U.S. has effectively reaped what it sowed. Moreover, the Federal Reserve's aggressive rate hikes have driven the dollar index too high, further weakening the international competitiveness of U.S. agricultural products. Take Japan as an example. The yen's exchange rate against the dollar has plummeted to record lows, making U.S. agricultural products prohibitively expensive for ordinary Japanese citizens. Japan has always been an important importer of American agricultural products, but now, with the dollar continuing to rise, American produce is losing its competitiveness. In the Japanese market, a direct consequence of America's exploitative financial dominance. The situation for countries within the BRICS payment system is completely different. For instance, Russian wheat exports continue to grow and are expected to capture 29% of the global market share in 2024. Similarly, Iran, despite being sanctioned by the U.S., has seen a 33% increase in its agricultural exports. These successes illustrate one thing clearly: the BRICS payment system challenges dollar hegemony, giving these nations more opportunities in the international market. This irony is hard to miss. The U.S. wields its sanctions hammer, yet those it sanctions are thriving while Washington watches helplessly. Another factor exacerbating the plight of American agriculture is inflation. Agricultural production costs in the U.S. have been rising year after year, with total production expenses increasing by 4% in 2023, reaching an all-time high. These rising costs are partly due to higher fertilizer and machinery prices. In contrast, countries within the BRICS payment system have little to worry about in this regard. Russia is the world's largest producer of fertilizer, while China is the biggest manufacturer of agricultural machinery. These resource advantages have made BRICS countries' agricultural production more stable and efficient. On the other hand, American farmers not only face rising production costs, but also struggle with unsold inventories after losing the world's largest market, finding themselves in an unenviable double whammy situation. Today, the global agricultural market is increasingly divided into two systems, one relying on the US dollar and another led by the Chinese yuan under the BRICS system. The competition between these two systems has just begun, but the success of the BRICS payment system will undoubtedly have a profound impact on the global economic landscape, especially for the United States. Dollar hegemony has long been a pillar of U.S. global supremacy, but now that pillar is beginning to shake. For years, the U.S. used the dollar system to extract wealth globally, shifting its financial risks onto other countries. The emergence of the BRICS payment system has cracked this once dominant framework. We can envision a future scenario. As more countries join the BRICS payment system, the dollar's role in international trade will further diminish, and the U.S. will lose its privilege of accessing global economic data through dollar settlements. For American farmers, this means they will have to navigate a less transparent market, making agricultural planning more challenging. For the U.S. government, the weakening of dollar hegemony is not just an economic issue, it signals the gradual erosion of its global leadership. The current troubles facing American agriculture are merely the beginning. As the BRICS payment system continues to develop, the collapse of dollar dominance seems inevitable. One day, even Americans might have to admit that their so-called free market and economic supremacy were built on exploiting other nations. And once that tool of exploitation, the dollar, loses its power, the myth of American economic invincibility will shatter. As we are seeing now, with American farmers dealing with unsold produce and rising production costs, the illusion of an agricultural superpower is fading, revealing its inherent fragility. The emergence of the BRICS payment system provides new hope for countries long oppressed by the dollar. Although its establishment still faces challenges, its existence alone is a powerful challenge to dollar hegemony. This marks an inevitable trend toward a fairer and more multipolar global economy. Whoever gains an advantage in this new landscape will win more opportunities. The difficulties faced by American agriculture are just the tip of the iceberg in this shift, and a larger storm may be quietly brewing. So, what do you think about the challenges facing American agriculture under the BRICS payment system? Will the decline of dollar hegemony bring about a fairer global economy? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and let's explore the future trends in the global economy together.